Welcome back to Cooley Loves Comic Books. For this episode, I just want to make a quick video about this book, Wynd, that's published by Boom Studios. The author is James Tynion IV, and the art is done by Michael Dialynas. I hope I pronounced that right. I'd heard about this book right around the time it came out. I think Steve and Sara were talking about it on the Talking Comic Books podcast. Spoke very highly of it, but it kind of slipped my mind after that point. I've just seen more discussion mention of this coming up lately, and I just wanted to check it out. I went down to my local comic book shop, and I was fortunate enough to grab some of the last copies of issues 2 and 3 that they had. I had to seek out issue number 1. It seems like maybe word is really starting to get out there on this book, and so people are snapping it up if it's still on the shelves. And I've had it for about a week, and right now, or basically the initial intent is that this is just going to be an 8-issue run. And so issue number 4 is coming out in a couple of weeks, or we're just before the midway point in the story. And I just hadn't had a chance to sit down and read it. And last night, just kind of things came to the point where I just had a few minutes. My intent was just to open up book 1. I just wanted to kind of flip through and just kind of see what was going on in the issue. I didn't intend to sit down and read it, but the art is really striking. It's gorgeous to look at. It's really well done. And just flipping through the first couple pages, I was like, all right, I've got to see what's going on. So I started to read the first book. And book number 1, it's a lot of character development and world building, certainly, but it's really well done. It's really interesting. I'll give you, kind of light backstory, and I don't think this is too spoilery because this is what you learn in literally the first couple of pages. Humans are the main focus of the story, but there is magic in this world. There are magical creatures. Magic can infect or affect humans. It can be in certain circumstances kind of an affliction, and the humans are trying to keep magic out of this last city. It's called Pipetown. And the main character's name is Wynd, and you find out that he is one of these kind of magical creatures, or he has he's been touched by magic in some way, and he's living in a town where he is not welcome. His kind is not welcome, and that's the very starting point. And then the world kind of builds out from there, and you get to know Wynd from there. And just that in and of itself is a really interesting framework for the story. Period. This is a story where it's a really cool story to read. There's a lot of really fun characters, but there's some things to think about on top of that, which it brings another level to the story for sure. And there's as you go on, I got to the end of issue number 1, and the story kind of took a turned up to a different level, and I had to see where it was going. I opened book number 2, just intending to read the first couple of pages, and then all of a sudden I'm at the end of book number 2, and the stakes get raised again. The story is really getting rolling at that point, and I ended up reading issue number 3 too. Just kind of I ended up just getting pulled into this book and read the whole thing unintentionally last night, and was so taken with it. I just wanted to make a quick video and get the word out about it, just because I don't know if you've heard about this book. If you haven't, and that sounds at all interesting, you should definitely seek it out and check it out. There's the mythology and the characters. There's so much going on here. I sort of struggle to see how they're going to be able to get it all done in 8 issues. Maybe they can, but this world is going to be so big and broad. I can't wait to see where they're going with it for the next 5 issues or more. But yeah, it's going to be a good one, I think. If it's half as good for the rest of it as it's been for these first 3, it's definitely something I want to come back and revisit when it's all wrapped up. But with Boom, I'm sure that if it really starts taking off, that it'll probably get extended, like what they did with Once and Future here recently. So just a gorgeous story, really cool world. If you like stories that have some thought-provoking elements to them, but also it has a fantasy element, magical element to it, but some really good characters, good character development, a really fascinating villain on top of that. There's just a lot going on here, and I just want to see where it goes, and I wanted to let you guys know about it. So if that sounds at all interesting to you, you can check this out. Hopefully catch catch this book while it's still coming out and see what happens. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you can, head down to your local comic book store, support them. Maybe they've still got some issues, or they can help you find these. And in the meantime, I'm going to read some more comic books, and you should do that too. So thanks very much for watching. Take care, and we'll catch you on the next one.